Every world hides its secrets, and some beings belong to more than one. I am born of two worlds where science meets spirituality and reality collides with imagination. Welcome to the space between worlds. The rain came down like silver knives cutting through the night. Thick clouds covered the moon, and the forest was nothing but shadows and whispers. Lara held her small flashlight tight, her breath quick and shaky. She had come to the lake only to clear her mind, not to become part of something strange. The year was 2137, and the world had changed. After the second solar flare, Earth's skies sometimes glowed green, and strange animals were seen near the forests. Some people said they came from the stars. Others said it was all just evolution after the storms. Lara didn't believe in any of it until tonight. She heard it again. A sound that didn't belong to the night, not human, not animal. It was a cry, weak, trembling, desperate. Lara moved closer to the lake, her boots sinking into the muddy ground. The rain had turned the shore into a pool of water, and lightning flashed in the distance, lighting up the trees for a split second. That's when she saw it. Something small was struggling in the dark water, half submerged, half fighting. It looked like a pup, but not like any pup she had ever seen. Its fur shone faintly blue under the lightning, and its eyes, oh, its eyes were glowing pale silver even through the storm. "Hey, hold on!" she shouted, running forward. She didn't think. She just jumped into the freezing water. The shock hit her like ice, but she kept swimming. Every instinct said to go back, but the cry pulled her forward. When she reached the creature, it was almost still. Its body was small, weak, trembling. She grabbed it and pulled it close, feeling a strange warmth from its fur, like static energy humming under her skin. For a moment she thought she heard something, a soft voice in her mind whispering, "Help, please." Her eyes widened, but she didn't have time to think. She swam back and dragged the pup to the shore. She coughed, shivering, and looked down at the creature lying in her arms. Its chest rose and fell weakly, but it was alive. It didn't look normal. Its tail had a strange shape, long and thin, and there were faint glowing lines running along its body like veins of light. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "What are you?" Lara whispered. The pup made a soft sound, like a whimper mixed with a hum. Its glowing eyes met hers, and for a second she felt something strange inside her chest. A feeling like the world had gone quiet, like their hearts were beating in the same rhythm. Then she heard it again. "Thank you," she froze. Did you just?" But the pup's mouth hadn't moved. Before she could understand what happened, a loud howl echoed through the forest. Deep, cold, not from any normal wolf. The pup's ears twitched and its body tensed. It tried to get up but collapsed. Lara looked toward the dark forest. Her flashlight flickered once, then went out. Something was out there, watching, waiting. She picked up the pup and held it close. "It's okay. You're safe now," she whispered, though she wasn't sure if she believed her own words. The wind changed direction. The smell of metal filled the air, sharp, electric, strange. And then she saw eyes in the dark, dozens of them, silver, blue, red. Her heart raced. She took a step back. The pup in her arms gave a low growl, weak but protective. "What do you want?" she said out loud, though she knew no one could understand her. A shadow moved, tall, lean, fast. Another howl shook the air. Lara turned and ran. Branches whipped her face, mud splashed around her boots, and the glowing eyes followed from between the trees. She didn't look back. The pup's faint light was the only thing guiding her now. Somewhere in her head, she kept hearing that small, broken voice. "Run, they're coming." Her lungs burned, but she didn't stop until she reached her cabin. She kicked the door shut and locked it. The lights flickered, then went out completely. The storm outside grew louder. Lightning flashed again, and through the window she saw shapes moving in the rain, four-legged shadows circling the cabin. She looked down at the pup. It was breathing fast, its glow flickering like a dying flame. "What are they? Why are they after you?" she whispered. The pup looked up, eyes full of sadness. In her mind she heard one last word before it fainted. "Pack." Then silence. Only the sound of rain and the distant, haunting howls filled the air. Lara sat there, holding the strange creature close, not realizing that saving it had just changed everything. The morning came slowly. Rain still fell, but softer now, like the world was whispering instead of shouting. Lara sat beside the fire in her small cabin, wrapped in a blanket. The creature lay on a towel near the firelight, breathing softly. Its fur shimmered faintly blue even in the dim light. When the flames flickered, the glow in its veins pulsed gently as if answering the fire's rhythm. Lara stared at it, still half believing this was a dream. She reached out slowly and touched its fur. It felt soft, but there was a strange hum, like tiny sparks dancing under her fingers. The creature stirred, opening its pale silver eyes. "Hey, easy now," she whispered. The pup blinked, weak but alert. It looked at her, really looked like it understood. Then, without moving its mouth, she heard the same gentle voice in her head again. "You helped me, thank you." Lara froze, her heart skipped. "You can talk," inside my head. The pup didn't answer. Instead, it tilted its head, ears twitching. The air felt strange again, thick and charged. For a moment, she thought she heard faint whispers outside, like voices carried by the rain. She stood and walked to the window. The forest was quiet, too quiet. No birds, no rustling leaves, just stillness. When she turned back, the pup was standing now, weak but steady. Its body looked smaller than a normal wolf pup, more delicate, but its eyes held something old, something powerful. Lara noticed marks on its sides, small, round scars that glowed faintly red. Burn marks. No, they looked like symbols. "What happened to you?" she whispered. The pup looked down, almost in shame. Then, faintly in her mind, "They hurt us, took us from our home." "Who did?" she asked quickly. No answer, just silence. The fire popped, breaking the moment. Lara sighed and looked at the clock. It was nearly noon. Her communicator device blinked weakly on the table, still showing no signal. The storm must have knocked out the satellite line. She crouched again near the pup. "Okay, little guy or girl, whatever you are, you need food." She poured some water into a bowl and placed a few pieces of dried meat near it. The pup sniffed the meat but didn't eat. Instead, it placed its paw on the bowl of water. The surface rippled and glowed faintly, and then the water lifted, floating like a small, glowing bubble. Lara gasped. "You're doing that?" The pup's eyes glowed brighter. The water floated for a moment longer, then splashed back down. It gave a soft whine and lay back, exhausted. Lara's hands trembled. "This can't be real," she whispered. "You're not from here, are you?" The pup closed its eyes. No. Lightning flashed again outside, though there were no thunder clouds this time, just bright light. Lara ran to the window. In the distance, above the forest, a faint silver beam pulsed from the sky and vanished. "What was that?" she said under her breath. Behind her, the pup stood again, alert now, its fur glowing faintly. "They're looking for me." Lara turned, fear rising. "Who's looking for you?" The pup's voice echoed softer, almost like a child's whisper. "The pack and others." Before Lara could ask more, her communicator suddenly came to life. A crackling voice broke through. "Lara, it's Captain Juno. Are you at the outpost? Something's wrong with the sensors. We picked up strange readings near your area." Lara grabbed the device. "Captain, you won't believe this. Stay inside," the voice interrupted. "Whatever's in that forest isn't human. Don't go out until we get there." Then the line went dead. Lara stared at the device. Her heartbeat thundered in her chest. She turned back to the pup, but it was gone. "What?" She searched the cabin, empty. Then she heard a low growl from outside. She ran to the door and opened it slowly. The pup was standing on the porch, its fur glowing brighter than before. The rain stopped completely. The air shimmered, and suddenly everything went silent. Not just quiet, silent. No wind, no forest sounds, nothing. And then from the edge of the trees, figures appeared. They moved like shadows but had glowing eyes, just like the pup. There were 6 of them, larger, stronger, their silver eyes fixed on her. The pup gave a soft cry, one of pain or fear. Lara stepped in front of it without thinking. "You can't have it," she shouted, though she had no idea who or what they were. The largest shadow stepped forward. Its voice echoed in her mind, deep and commanding. "Human, you don't understand. That pup belongs to us." Lara's grip on the pup tightened. "Then why was it dying in the lake?" The figure paused, then it said one word. "Because it chose you." Lightning cracked across the sky, and in that blinding flash the shadows vanished, leaving only silence, the glowing pup, and Lara's heart beating fast. She didn't know it yet, but everything in her life had just changed, and somewhere deep in the forest, the rest of the pack had begun to move. The night was long. Lara didn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw those glowing eyes in the forest and heard that deep voice saying, "It chose you." She didn't know what that meant, but the words refused to leave her mind. The pup slept near the fire again, its breathing slow and uneven. Its glow had faded. It looked weak, fragile like a dying flame. Lara placed her hand on its fur. A faint pulse of warmth spread through her fingers, and for a second she felt a flicker of something inside her chest, not fear, not pain, something else. Connection. When she whispered softly, "You'll be okay," the pup's glow pulsed once as if it heard her heart. Outside, the rain had stopped, but the sky still glowed faintly green, a strange shimmer that had appeared since the solar flare years ago. Many people called it the scar of the heavens. But tonight it looked alive, moving like slow waves of energy across the clouds. Lara stood near the window, staring at the sky. Her communicator blinked again, static noise, no signal. Then suddenly a clear voice cut through for half a second. "Lara, get out, not safe, they're tracking." Then silence. She turned around quickly. The pup was now standing, eyes glowing brighter. "They found us," the voice whispered in her mind. Lara's heart pounded. "Who found us?" "The pack." The pup shook its head weakly. "No, the others, hunters, hunters," she repeated. "Humans." The pup looked toward the forest. "Not like you, they wear metal and move without breath." Before Lara could ask what that meant, the ground began to hum, low and steady like distant thunder. Her window rattled, the air vibrated. Then a beam of red light cut across the sky, scanning the treetops. She grabbed the pup and ducked down. The light passed over the cabin once, twice, then stopped. Her breath caught in her throat, they knew. A deep voice echoed outside, metallic and cold. "Signal located, target identified, retrieve the organism." Lara's pulse raced. She looked around the small cabin. There was no back door, just one window and a narrow crawl space beneath the floorboards. She opened it quickly and whispered, "Come on, get in." The pup hesitated. "They will follow the bond." "What bond?" "Between you and me." Lara blinked. "What do you mean?" Before she could finish, the door burst open with a sharp blast. Smoke filled the room. Figures stepped through the mist, tall, armored, faces hidden behind glowing helmets. Their weapons hummed with red energy. She crawled under the floor with the pup, pulling the wooden panel shut just as boots thudded above her. "Thermal scan," one of them ordered. Lara held her breath. The pup pressed close to her, its tiny body trembling. Suddenly, its glow faded completely, gone like someone had turned off a light. The soldier above spoke again. "No heat detected. The signal must have moved. Spread out. The pack is near. Don't let them make contact." The boots marched out and the cabin fell silent again. Lara waited for several long minutes before she dared to breathe. Then she whispered, "Who are they?" The pup's voice was faint now. "Hunters from the stars. They took our home and now they take worlds." She stared at it, realizing this was far bigger than she ever imagined. "You mean you're not from Earth at all?" The pup lifted its head slightly. "We were sent to hide, but they followed us here." Lara slowly pushed open the floor panel and climbed out. The cabin was wrecked, furniture broken, walls cracked from the blast. Smoke still curled from the door frame. She grabbed a small bag, stuffed it with supplies, and looked down at the pup. "We can't stay here," she said. "If they come back, we're done." The pup didn't move for a moment, then slowly nodded. Outside, the forest was darker than ever, but the path ahead shimmered faintly with small blue lights, glowing paw prints leading deeper into the woods. Lara frowned. "Your pack, yes, they are calling me. But they tried to take you before," she said. The pup looked up at her. "They were scared. The bond changed everything." "What bond?" she asked again more firmly. The pup hesitated, then whispered, "You saved me." That act created a link between our minds. They can feel it, and now so can the hunters. Lara rubbed her temple. "So because I helped you, I've painted a target on my back." "Yes, but I can protect you if we reach my pack." A howl echoed through the forest, long, deep, and haunting. The pup's ears lifted. "That's them. They are waiting." Lara looked at the glowing prints, then back at her ruined home. She took a deep breath. "All right," she said quietly. "Let's find your pack." She stepped into the forest, holding the pup close. The glowing paw prints led them deeper into the mist. The trees whispered softly, their branches shifting like living things. Then from far behind she heard the metallic voice again, closer this time. "Target required, move in." Lara started running. The pup's glow returned, brighter than ever, lighting the path ahead. In the distance, the howls grew louder, dozens of them surrounding her from every direction. She didn't know if they were coming to save her or to claim her. The forest was alive with blue light. Lara ran, holding the pup close to her chest as the glowing paw prints guided her deeper into the mist. The air shimmered around them, a strange hum filling her ears like music from another world. Behind her, red beams flashed between the trees. The hunters were close. Their footsteps were silent, but the metallic hum of their scanners echoed faintly. The pup lifted its head. "We are near," it said in her mind. "Near what?" she panted. "The heart of the forest, the place where the veil is thin." Lara didn't understand, but she kept going. The trees grew taller, their trunks covered in glowing vines that pulsed softly like breathing skin. Then suddenly the forest opened into a vast clearing. She stopped. In the center stood a huge crystal formation rising from the ground, glowing blue and white. Around it, shadows moved. Shapes with 4 legs, glowing silver eyes and fur like the stars. The pack. The pup wriggled from her arms and stepped forward. The largest of the creatures, nearly twice Lara's height, lowered its head. Its fur shimmered like a galaxy, and when it looked at her, she felt the weight of its thoughts pressing into her mind. "Human, you brought our child home." Lara swallowed. I didn't know who he was. I just saved him." The giant wolf tilted its head. "You did more than that. You forged the link." The smaller wolves circled her, their eyes glowing softly. The pup ran to one of them, a female, perhaps its mother. They touched foreheads, their light merging. The mother looked back at Lara, and a soft voice entered her thoughts. "He carries your bond now, your energy. You are part of the pack." Lara blinked, unsure if she was supposed to be terrified or honored. "Part of the pack. I'm just human." The largest wolf stepped closer. "Not anymore." A deep vibration ran through the ground. The crystal pulsed brighter, sending ripples of blue energy through the clearing. The air shimmered, and for a brief second Lara saw images in her mind, planets burning, wolves flying through stars, metal ships raining fire. She gasped and fell to her knees. What was that?" The leader's voice was heavy with sadness. "Our home destroyed. The hunters came for our power, the light vein. We fled through the rift and fell upon your world, but they followed." Lara stared at the pup. "And he's special, isn't he?" The mother nodded. "He is the heartborn. His bond with you changes everything." Before Lara could ask what that meant, the pup suddenly howled, a sound so sharp and pure it made the crystal vibrate. The wolves turned their heads. The mist thickened, and the forest seemed to tremble. Then the red beams appeared again, slicing through the fog. Hunters had arrived. Dozens of them stepped into the clearing, weapons glowing. Their leader raised his hand. "Target secured, destroy the rest." The wolves spread out, forming a glowing circle around the crystal. Energy sparks lit the air. One of the wolves leapt at the hunters, slamming into them like lightning. A blast followed, a roar of light and sound. "Lara, stay behind me." The pup's voice echoed in her head. "What are you going to do?" she cried. "What I was born to." The pup ran to the center of the crystal circle. Blue light exploded from beneath its paws. The hunters fired, but the beams bounced off the glowing field that suddenly formed around the wolves. The air rippled, and the smell of ozone filled the clearing. Lara could only watch eyes wide as the wolves began to sing, not with mouths but through energy. Their howls merged into a deep, haunting tone that made the forest pulse with light. The crystal rose slowly into the air, shining brighter and brighter until the night looked like daylight. Then everything went silent. The red lights flickered, the hunters froze mid-step and then were thrown backward by an invisible force. Their armor cracked, their visors shattered, and their lights went dark. Lara fell to her knees again, shielding her eyes. When the brightness faded, she saw the pack standing in silence. The pup lay on the ground, barely moving. She ran to him. "No, no, stay with me," she said, her voice shaking. The mother stepped closer. "He used too much energy, the bond drains him and you." Lara felt dizzy, her vision blurred. Her skin glowed faintly blue for a moment before dimming. She realized what the wolf meant. The connection between her and the pup wasn't just emotional, it was life-sharing. "Can I help him?" she asked weakly. The leader nodded. "You can give him your energy, but it will hurt." "I don't care, do it." The wolves formed a circle around her. Light rose again, soft this time. She placed her hands on the pup's fur. Energy pulsed from her chest, flowing into him. Pain shot through her veins like fire, but she didn't stop. The pup's eyes opened slowly, glowing silver again. "Lara, you saved me again." She smiled faintly. "Yeah, well, don't make it a habit." The leader stepped forward once more. "The hunters will return. You must come with us to the Vale. It's the only safe place left." Lara looked at the glowing crystal, still floating gently in the air. "What's the Vale? The gate between worlds?" Before she could answer, the pup lifted its head. "They're not gone," he said weakly. "They've called reinforcements." Far above them, through the clouds, a massive red ship began to break through the sky, its shadow swallowing the forest in crimson light. Lara stared upward, her heart pounding. "This just keeps getting worse," she whispered. The leader's eyes flashed. "Then we run together." The wolves howled again, light wrapping around them, and the crystal began to open like a doorway made of stars. The forest tore apart in a storm of light. The huge red ship above the clouds hummed like thunder, casting a crimson glow that turned the world into fire. The wolves gathered close to the glowing crystal, their fur bright with energy. The leader's voice echoed through Lara's mind. "The hunters have found us. We must cross the Vale." "The Vale," Lara shouted over the roaring wind. "What's on the other side? Our world, or what remains of it?" Before she could ask more, the crystal pulsed once and the air cracked open. A glowing doorway appeared, blue, swirling, endless. The wolves began to run toward it one by one, their bodies dissolving into light as they passed through. The pup looked back at Lara. "Come with us." She hesitated. "What if I can't survive there?" The pup's silver eyes softened. "You're one of us now." The ground shook violently. Metal pods rained from the ship, slamming into the forest and releasing hunters in silver armor. Their red visors glowed like fireflies of death. The leader howled, the sound filled the air like thunder. Lara grabbed the pup and ran toward the glowing portal. Just as a beam of red energy fired behind her, she jumped through the veil. For a heartbeat, there was only silence and blinding white light. When the light faded, Lara gasped. They were standing on a vast plain under two suns. The sky shimmered with strange colors, pink, gold, and deep blue swirling together. Floating stones drifted gently in the air, glowing like lanterns. Rivers of light cut across the land like living veins. This is your world," she whispered. The pup nodded weakly. "Once it was beautiful, now it's dying." She looked around. The other wolves stood silently on a ridge, their eyes filled with sadness. The ground beneath them cracked, glowing red as if the planet's heart was breaking apart. The leader turned to her. "The light vein that gives life to our world is fading. When it dies, so will we." Lara frowned. "So you came to Earth looking for help?" "No," the leader said. "We came seeking the one who could restore it." Her heartbeat quickened. "And you think that's me?" The pup stepped closer. "The bond chose you when you saved me. Your energy awakened something that was sleeping in our blood." I don't understand, she said, shaking her head. I'm human, just a researcher who lives in a broken world. The leader's glowing eyes met hers. Are you sure? He stepped forward, touching his nose gently to her forehead. Images flooded her mind, flashes of light, distant stars, a woman holding a small glowing child, and then darkness. Lara fell to her knees, breathing hard. What was that? She whispered. A memory, the leader said. Not mine, yours. Her hands trembled. No, that's impossible. I was born on Earth. The pup looked at her softly. You were, but your blood carries the light vein. You are part of us. Lara stared at her reflection in the glowing river nearby and froze. Her eyes were faintly glowing silver. She stumbled back. No, this can't be real. The pup stepped closer. You are the key to restoring balance. The light inside you can awaken our world again. Before Lara could speak, the sky darkened. The red ship had followed them through the veil. Its shadow swallowed the horizon. They followed us, she whispered. The leader growled. They will not stop. The hunters feed on the light vein. They will destroy this world too. The ground shook again. Lara's communicator beeped faint signal. She looked down at it, confused. A human voice came through the static. Lara, it's Captain Juno. We've tracked your signal through the rift. Are you alive? What's happening in there? Lara hesitated. Captain, you need to stay out. There's something. The voice broke through sharply. We're sending in drones. We'll pull you out. Don't engage with them. The leader's eyes narrowed. More humans. They will make it worse. Lara looked between the wolves and her communicator, torn between two worlds. They don't understand. They just think they're rescuing me. The pup placed its paw on her hand. Then you must choose, save your people or save ours. The ship above began to open, revealing a massive red core glowing like a star. Energy crackled through the sky. The veil began to collapse, the doorway flickering wildly. Lara, the pup whispered, if the light vein dies, both our worlds die. Her chest burned with light again. Her skin shimmered, glowing brighter. She felt energy pulling at her heart, the same force that had linked her to the pup. Only now it was stronger, almost alive. The leader spoke in a deep, steady voice. You are the bridge between the stars, Lara, the one who can heal or destroy. Her knees shook. But how do I use it? The pup's soft voice echoed in her mind. You already are. The light burst from her chest like a wave. The ground glowed blue, the air rippled, and the red ship above cracked with lightning. Hunters screamed as their armor melted into sparks of dust. Lara screamed too, pain and power mixing like fire and wind. The wolves howled in unison, their lights merging with hers until the entire sky turned white. And then silence. The red ship vanished, the crack in the sky sealed, the world stood still. Lara fell to her knees, breathing hard. The pup leaned against her. The light vein is waking, it whispered. You did it. She smiled weakly, tears in her eyes. I don't even know what I did. The leader bowed his head. You saved us, but at a cost you do not yet see. Lara looked up at the twin suns rising again. Somewhere deep inside, she felt something else, something dark, stirring beneath the light. She didn't know it yet, but her journey was far from over, because what she had awakened wasn't just life. The two suns had barely set when the ground began to shake again. Lara stood beside the glowing crystal, her heart still racing from the battle. The wolves surrounded her, silent and watchful. The air smelled like rain and fire, like two worlds colliding. The pup sat near her feet, his silver eyes dull with exhaustion. The light vein is waking, he said softly, but it's unstable. Something is wrong. Lara frowned. Maybe because of me, I used too much energy back there. The leader shook his head. No, this world was broken long before you came, but your light changed its rhythm. It's remembering life again. Before Lara could answer, a sharp noise cut through the air, static, then a human voice. Lara, it's Juno again. We found the rift. We're coming through. She turned toward the shimmering air where the veil had been. The glow flickered, and then with a blinding flash, several figures in dark suits appeared. Human soldiers, earth insignias on their arms. Behind them stood Captain Juno, her commander and old friend. "Lara," Juno shouted, running forward. "You're alive, we thought we lost you." Lara smiled weakly. "I'm here, but you shouldn't have come. This world," her words cut off as the soldiers raised their weapons toward the wolves. "Stand down," she shouted. "They're not the enemy." Juno's face hardened. "They're not human either. Our scans show massive energy readings, the kind that can power entire cities. Headquarters wants that energy contained." Lara's stomach dropped. "Contained? You mean captured?" "They're dangerous, Lara," Juno said. "And whatever's inside you, it's changing you too." The pup growled softly. The wolves moved closer, their eyes glowing brighter. The air between both sides trembled with tension. Lara stepped between them. "Stop this. Nobody needs to fight." Juno sighed, lowering her gun slightly. "Then come back with us. Let the scientists study you. Study it. We'll make sure you're safe." Lara shook her head. "I'm not a weapon." "Juno," the pup's voice whispered in her mind. "They fear what they don't understand." Juno's tone grew colder. "Then you leave me no choice." She raised her hand, signaling her team. In seconds, energy nets shot out, blue beams wrapping around the wolves. The animals roared, fighting against the traps, but the nets glowed brighter with every struggle. "Juno, stop!" Lara cried. She ran forward, grabbing her friend's arm. "You're hurting them." Juno's eyes flickered with guilt. "I have orders, Lara. Earth is dying, you know that. We need this energy to survive." Lara's voice cracked. "So you'll kill another world to save your own?" For a moment, silence. Then a soldier shouted, "Contain the human, she's resonating." Blue light erupted from Lara's body again. The ground shook, the nets cracked. The wolves howled, and the crystal in the center pulsed with wild energy. Lara dropped to her knees, holding her head. "I can't control it." The pup ran to her, pressing against her chest. "Breathe, focus on me." She closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. The wild light slowly calmed, turning soft and steady. But when she opened her eyes again, she saw Juno pointing a weapon directly at the pup. "No," Lara shouted, but the shot fired. The beam hit the ground beside them, throwing dust and light into the air. The pup collapsed, trembling. Lara screamed, rushing to him. "No, no, stay with me." The wolves howled, their eyes turning white-hot. The leader roared, and a shockwave of light blasted outward, throwing the soldiers backward like leaves in a storm. Juno crashed to the ground, her weapon broken. The world fell silent again. Lara looked down at the pup in her arms. Its light was fading fast. "Don't you dare leave me," she whispered, tears falling onto its fur. The pup's voice was faint now. "I'm sorry, this is the only way." "What do you mean? You have the light now, all of it. You must finish what I started." "No," she said, shaking her head. "We'll fix this together." The pup's glow dimmed completely. For a moment, everything around her, the wolves, the soldiers, even the air, seemed to stop moving. Then from somewhere deep inside her, a pulse of silver light spread outward. Her eyes glowed. The mark of the light vein burned across her skin. The leader lowered his head. "The Heartborn has passed his light to you. You are now the keeper." Lara's tears fell silently. "He gave his life for me." Juno stood up, limping, staring in disbelief. "Lara, what did you do?" Lara turned toward her, her voice calm but cold. "What you couldn't, I protected life." Juno's hand trembled on her gun. "If you bring that energy back to Earth, they'll never stop hunting you." Lara looked down at her glowing hands. "Then I won't go back." The wolves surrounded her again, their lights merging with hers. The crystal pulsed, and a faint doorway began to reopen in the distance. The veil shimmered, unstable but alive. Juno called out, "Lara, don't do this, you'll be trapped on this side." Lara turned, her silver eyes calm and resolute. "Maybe that's where I belong." The wind picked up. Light surrounded her completely. The wolves howled one final time, their voices echoing across the dying world. Then, in a burst of blue and silver light, they vanished into the veil. Juno stood alone, staring at the empty field. The red ship burned in the sky, and for a moment she thought she saw a faint figure among the stars, glowing like a ghost. Light, endless light. That was all Lara saw as she fell through the veil, blue and silver spirals spinning around her like galaxies in motion. The voices of the wolves echoed in her mind, a song of sorrow and strength. When her feet touched solid ground again, everything was quiet. She stood in a valley made of crystal and light. The air shimmered, the stars above moved like living fireflies, but she wasn't alone. From the mist, the leader wolf appeared, tall, glowing, majestic. "You've crossed the final threshold, Keeper," he said softly. "Now the light vein listens only to you." Lara looked down at her hands, both glowing faintly. Her veins shimmered like rivers of silver. "Why do you call me that?" she asked. "Because the Heartborn gave you his soul. His light and yours are now one." The mention of the pup sent a wave of pain through her heart. She could still feel him faint, quiet like an echo in her chest. "I can still hear him," she whispered. "He is part of you now, through you he lives." The leader's tone darkened, but the hunters still remain. Their ship feeds on the rift's energy. Soon it will tear both worlds apart. Lara frowned. "You mean Earth too?" "Yes, the balance is broken. If one world dies, so does the other." She took a deep breath. "Then tell me what I need to do." The leader stepped closer, his glowing eyes soft but sad. "To save both worlds, you must close the light vein forever, but doing so means you will cease to exist." Her heart froze. "You mean I'll die?" "Your body, yes, but your light, your essence will become part of the vein. You will live in every star that shines." Lara looked up at the sky. She thought of Earth, the broken cities, the polluted air, the people fighting for survival. She thought of the wolves, their dying world, their beautiful skies. Both deserved life. "But there has to be another way," she said softly. The leader shook his head. "There is only the way of balance. The Keeper gives so others may live." A low rumble shook the ground. Far above, the red ship reappeared, its engines blazing. Through the veil, she could see Earth, gray clouds, cities flickering in chaos. The hunters had opened both sides now, draining the energy faster than ever. Lara clenched her fists. "I won't let them destroy everything." She stepped forward, her glow intensifying. The crystal valley around her began to hum, responding to her heartbeat. The leader howled, and the other wolves appeared around her, forming a circle of light. "Once the connection begins," the leader warned, "it cannot be undone." She nodded. "I understand." She placed her hands on the glowing crystal at the center of the valley. It pulsed, cold and warm all at once. Then energy exploded outward, rising like a storm. Her hair lifted, her body glowing brighter with every second. The pain returned, sharper now, but she didn't stop. The wolves howled in unison, their lights merging with hers. The veil between worlds began to close, folding inward like fabric of light. In the distance, the red ship cracked under the force. Flames and lightning tore through its metal hull. Juno's voice came faintly through the communicator, still at Lara's side. "Lara, what are you doing?" Lara smiled faintly. "Something you taught me, Captain, doing the right thing, no matter the cost." "Stop, Yule," but the voice faded as the light grew too strong. The crystal pulsed faster, the entire world shaking like thunder. Then the pup's voice whispered in her mind, soft, warm, and full of love. "You're not alone, I'm with you." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I know," she whispered. "Let's finish this together." She spread her arms wide. The energy surged from her heart into the crystal. The light expanded outward, swallowing the red ship, the wolves, the valley, and the sky itself. When the light finally faded, there was silence. No hunters, no ship, no rift, only calm. The leader wolf stood on a quiet hill, looking up at the sky where two suns now shone brighter than ever. A gentle wind carried silver dust through the air, glowing like falling stars. One of the younger wolves whispered, "Is she gone?" The leader shook his head slowly. "No, look closer." High above, in the sky's heart, a new constellation shimmered, shaped like a woman and a small wolf beside her, both made of light. The leader bowed his head. "The Keeper watches over us now." Far away on Earth, Juno stood at the site where the veil had once glowed. The sky above was calm for the first time in years. The air was cleaner. The grass was green again. She held a small communicator in her hand, silent for hours, until suddenly it lit up. A faint voice came through. "Juno, if you can hear me, tell them the light isn't gone. It's inside everyone. Just listen." The message ended, but the light stayed, spreading across the world like dawn breaking after endless night. Juno looked up at the stars, tears glinting in her eyes. "Goodbye, Lara," she whispered. "You did it." And in the heart of the cosmos, where stars are born and worlds are healed, a voice whispered softly, carried by the light itself. She didn't know what to expect when she saved a drowning alien wolf pup, but in the end she saved everything. Glowing star, the end. If you enjoyed this journey, leave a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to become part of this story. This is born of two worlds, where reality ends and imagination begins.